Trump's gonna you. You need to leave.
My name is Jordan Chan, and my family and I were recently victims of racial aggression on the 4th of July. My dad is full Chinese and my mom is full Filipino. It's very important that people expose racists and white supremacists. And I also just wanted people to know that this is something that is really, really close to home. It could literally be anyone and anywhere. I'm an American citizen. I was born in Wisconsin, but my parents were doing long distance when I was a kid. So my dad has always lived in the Philippines, and it was too hard for them. We ended up moving to the Philippines when I was around 5 years old, I would say. I did all of my elementary school, my preschool, half of high school. And then I moved to California around 7 years ago for my junior year of high school. I've always felt like I'm too Asian for my American friends, and I'm too American for my Asian friends. I've never personally experienced anything like to the point where I would consider it bullying, but I know my family has, mostly like my dad and my brother, who have told me like their experiences in school and work where they've experienced racism in America. My tita's birthday is on the 4th of July, so we planned this year to drive to Monterey to celebrate. And so we were at the restaurant Lucia's at Bernarda's Lodge and Spa, which is a really nice fine dining restaurant. We were celebrating her birthday dinner and we were singing happy birthday to her. And then Michael Lofthouse, who you can see in the video, he's sitting on the table right behind my tito and tita. While we were singing happy birthday, he starts saying like, you Asians, go back to whatever Asian country you came from. My family and I then exchanged confused looks. It was so unwarranted and like completely unprovoked. So we were kind of just like, is he talking to us? It was very obvious that alcohol played a factor into his bluntness. And so my uncle and I turn around to him and we're like, what's your problem? And then he just goes on this rant like, you guys don't belong here, Asians. And that's when I start recording him.
Say it one more time.
Yeah. Trump's gonna you. You need to leave. Asian piece of
Oh my god.
When all of that was going down, everybody was staring, obviously. This was like a very loud altercation in a very fancy place. And so everyone was kind of just staring and in shock. You know, when that happens, nobody really knows how to react because it's not normal, you know? But then once Jenica, who's the server who got involved and was like defending my family, other people started joining in too.
You are not allowed here.
I already put my
Not talk to our guests like that. Get out now.
Who are these
They are valued guests.
Oh, are they?
Yes.
Yeah, they're valued guests in America.
Yeah, you're a racist.
After, when Michael was being escorted off the premises, he actually tried approaching our table, but then Jenica, the server, and 2 other customers got involved, and they were like serving as a barrier between us and him. It's something like a lot of people are desensitized to, but when it's happening to you in the moment and like you are personally being targeted, I don't know how to explain it. It's completely different. As soon as he was like completely gone, I just started sobbing uncontrollably at the dinner table. My uncle, while I was crying, he was like saying, you have to forgive and forget because that's the Christian thing to do. And that made me really angry because, you know, that whole mantra of forgiving and forgetting in instances of any social injustice just perpetuates it. It teaches them that they can get away with it. We have to show people that racism on any level is an intolerable offense. They were like, this is normal, like we've experienced racism, maybe not on that scale, but it's definitely happened before and it probably will happen again. But that made me cry even harder because I was like, it shouldn't be that way. And this isn't something that should be glossed over or tolerated. This is completely unacceptable that people have to even live in fear of that. When I first posted it, which was on the 5th, the day after it happened, it was mostly a lot of love and support I received, you know, because at first it was just like people who followed me, like my friends and family and coworkers, etc. But then when it blew up, like it went viral, that's when I started receiving a lot of hate. I actually had to disable my notifications for Instagram, and I just went private recently. People will say a lot of racist remarks, or they'll kind of try to do whatever they can to manipulate my words, or like kind of flip the situation on its head and make it seem like I was aggravating him or my family in some way deserved his racist remarks. So when I first heard the apology, I did not believe it was genuine, because when the video went viral and it reached Michael, he actually commented on my original post of the video of him, and he said, "You can eat." He was sober because that happened after the video was posted. So a few of my friends have recently notified me that Jenica, the server who's seen in the video defending my family and I, has actually received nearly $100,000 because a bunch of people like around the world just started GoFundMe pages for her to tip her. What Jenica did was really, really wonderful, and she deserves praise for that. She was being a really good ally, but the fact that people are calling her a hero, and that's a word I've been seeing a lot everywhere in the media, I think that's really, really problematic and toxic, because why should it be seen as something that's heroic to stand up for what's right? Like literally everybody should do that if they're placed in that instance. I just think it speaks to a bigger problem, and that's something that's really hard to talk about, because obviously this dialogue is super, super important because it feeds into the white savior complex. It's such a difficult discussion to have with people online, because people are quick again to be defensive and be like, oh, why are you attacking white people when they're trying to be your allies? But there's a huge difference between being an ally and a savior. So I would say one important thing is, if you see it happening, and it doesn't have to be happening to you, you have to call it out. You have to make sure that those people know that that's not okay. And another thing is that people have to be open to being wrong. It's really important to just reflect and sit down, take a beat for a minute and be like, okay, why does this person think that what I'm saying or doing is racist? And how can I be better? We all have to be open to making mistakes and being corrected. Nobody's born woke. Like, we all have to learn and unlearn.